So, what do you think of Eminem's Darkness video?
Alright. Number one, I like the metaphors with him when he went from the experience of being a rapper and, the pressure of the show, like, on the spotlight or whatever, but then transmuting it into, the killer and those thoughts before whatever action he took. Then, at that point, that's when I kind of felt a little hardened because it's like I don't want to be able to sympathize with, this situation, this act, because I feel like that's the reason why this continues to be allowed and isn't so honed down on, because it's like we always get it's a mental health issue when it's towards a certain group of people, but when it's towards the majority of just trying to get by and live and whatever, is treated to the max, with no remorse, like no view of another people that's dealing with the same thing as people. Mm-hmm. Whereas I see, kind of the view of a person.
You got that? You got that out of it?
Yeah, that's what I got.
I didn't see the sympathy behind it because of how the video ended, where the whole song was surrounding the Mandalay Hotel shooting in Las Vegas a couple of years ago. But then at the end, they showed all of the mass shootings that was going on, and they mentioned a couple of school shootings that happened. It was some that started 2019, mass shootings, school shootings. 2018 was riddled with school shootings, as well as just mass shootings. It was the worst. And then, 2017 was no better. So, it seems like he pulled a bunch of clips, and then especially like the Dylan Roof situation, or how they shot up the Waffle House. I think that clip was in there as well. And then at the end, it asks the question, "Yo, when will this end?" With the American flag in the background, basically like, America, when will this end? I didn't necessarily get a sympathetic look at, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I mean, that's why I mentioned towards the beginning of it, where it's like, okay, you thinking, me just see Eminem rapping. I'm like, okay, this is Eminem, talking about the spotlight and the pressures and maybe something.
Which was a dope flip, by the way.
But then to flip that, and it's just like, okay, artist, boom. Masculine, no. It was just like, I understand painting the story, and maybe that was just the intro to the story. And maybe I was just a little slow to catching up into just like, but immediately when I saw that, it's just like, no, I will not. For an artist, I can hear, what you're saying, and, the pressures and things of that nature, and not wanting to be alone in the whole darkness, which is what it's called. But then at the same time, it's just like, I'm not sure.
I didn't think about that.
Normalize it because it's such an atrocity.
Because at first glance it kind of does, in a way, humanize the killer, or detailing like his last moments before he killed a bunch of people and his eventual death, right? So I could see how it's like humanizing them in a way that, he's taking a lot of drugs and he's going out of his mind and he's nervous and all of this stuff leading up to the curtains go up, and now he's busting out the window and killing a bunch of people. What I got from that is, what I got from the whole video is, they call Eminem a culture vulture, or things of that nature, because of black people in the last 10 years kind of gaining a sense of morality with our color, especially like this new generation coming up. It's more so, black business and things of that nature, and calling out people when they're being vultures of the culture. Me, I don't see Eminem as a vulture of the culture, because one, he's been here for the past 25 years, some crazy shit like that. Dre made him. He was a Dre baby, the same as Kendrick's a Dre baby. So it already set him up for success, as well as in his last 3 albums, Revival, Kamikaze, and then this new one, Music to Be Murdered With. He's had a message to white America specifically. He wasn't pandering to black people. He wasn't saying what black people need to do, blah, blah, blah. He was calling white people on their white boy bullshit. And that's the voice that I think we need in hip-hop culture. And the reason why the video was so powerful and it hit you the way that it hit you at first, like, okay, we're seeing like the artist coming into, he's drinking, it's kind of like performance and everything of that nature. The reason we perceived it like that is because Eminem so-called came off of a flop, which was Revival. A flop mean like culturally relevant at this point, because Eminem, he's white, he's gonna sell what he sells. Cultural relevance. To Kamikaze, which kind of put him back, but we still like, MGK kind of wrote you up a couple months ago, so you on the fence. To now, his single is talking about, I'm taking drinks, I'm shooting up, I'm high as shit, I'm going through such all these nervous emotions before a show. But then wait, not talking about a show, I'm talking to white America again as my single. I think that's the type of representation that white people need to have when they rep or when they participate into our culture, is to call them on their bullshit and not, you know what I'm saying?
And to add to what you're saying, so like I said, I may have been a little bit slow catching up into like my emotions, because like I said, that initially made me uncomfortable just seeing like, not saying I can sympathize Eminem, but as an artist, I'm sympathizing artistry and lifestyle, okay, but then to change it to the character that I had, that was abrasive. Mm-hmm. And I think to balance what you're saying, like, that's needed, and I do agree with your voice, like, that's needed, and that voice is needed within, the industry for that that message, as well as, that's more so, I got a big connotation of like white guilt and atonement in that video. Yeah. And it kind of put me in a defense, and it's not really a defense, it's just the definitive side, which is we need to take the message that black people are sending through their music more seriously as well. Because, see, everybody wants to, that's when you say culture vulture, first of all, you gotta, break down what's the culture and what you're really, like, taking from it. Because what we're taking, a lot of what other people take from black music is the violence and the, the image of things. Whereas that portrays, like, more so the message. And, it's just that balance. Like, that voice is needed as well as a voice for us to take more seriously and not just normalize or, that struck you. Mm-hmm. Now, if you hear that same story and see, like, different black characters doing it in the black video, it's just like, you get caught up in everything else with it. Instead of, you're desensitized to it. And being knowledgeable of that is like, it needs to be a balance.
I mean, we have plenty of videos in our black culture where, we see the same portrayal as, niggas strapping up, yo, we about to go get these niggas, and it's all acting, it's a video, but it's a portrayal of us killing us, having beef with us. And and a lot of the music that's out right now, that Roddy Ricch song, I think because people thought he said she sucked a nigga's soul, had the cash out. And he's not even saying that. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like he's saying it in the fact that we think that he's saying that, and it sounds hard as shit. He should have said it, actually. It's hard as shit.
That's a single wave of consciousness.
But it's still like, okay, so what are we really putting out for ourselves and our own community, because like this negative self-talk that we're doing in our own music, it has to come to an end somewhere.